Hey guys, Oblivion here, coming at you with a duel, kind of like a dual replays with my Sea Lancer deck. Now, this is a new series I'm just gonna start up real quick. It's gonna be like two parts, probably. Just gonna call it Sea Lancer versus Devpro, maybe. This is the build that I'm gonna be using for casual slash competitive play for the September 2013 format. As you guys know, I'm a very big fan of Sea Lancer. Sea Lancer is my favorite variant of frogs. So I decided to just make Sea Lancer, and I do own the deck in real life. I'm just missing a couple of key pieces. Missing one more Sea Lancer, one more Lead and Darkness Dragon, yada yada yada. But it's still a very solid deck this format, and you guys are gonna be seeing me struggle. And yeah, so like I said, it's gonna be like a two-part series. I'm probably gonna be doing 4 duels, and then 4 duels in this one, 4 duels in the other one. So let's just go down the list. Let's start off with the Burning Knucklers. Burning Knucklers are going to be a very big contender this format because his compulse has gone down to 1 and all that. So I opened up pretty trash, really. Like the beginning, he opens up a very good with a really nice setup with a Thrasher and a Battling Boxer Spirit. So he's playing an OCG build here, and he's just gonna go for his plays. And I'm gonna be using this time to just talk about my day for you guys, because I consider you guys to be my family, and I've had a very good day. I got nominated for class president. I'm a junior, so that means I'm an 11th grader. So I'm probably gonna be class president, so I'm really happy. And that looks amazing in my resume for college. I gotta start signing up for colleges and all that, you know, and plus work and all that. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm having an amazing day. So I just felt like telling you guys that, because I consider you guys to be, like, you know, my best friends as well, because you guys actually listen to what I have to say and all that gushy stuff. So basically, you know, this is like, at first this is like a creature swap beat, because I didn't draw into a swap frog, didn't draw into any tributes, except the Sea Lancer, and yeah. But this is a very long game, a very long game. Like, I'm pretty sure more than like 70% of the video is gonna be this duel, because that's how long it is. So I get him down to 1,000 life points, and he stays like this for like the longest time. I'm like trying to top deck a freaking Caius, because Caius is like the cowboy. He just summon Caius, banish himself, and he burns for 1,000. But yeah, it's just man. So he decides to go and beat over Scrap Dragon with a lead yoke. You know, he's making plays. And here I just end the turn. I'm assuming that he's gonna go and bump heads with the Blade Armor Ninja, so he could beef up. But it turns out that he has another counter punch. Honestly, I would have saved that counter punch for later, and I would have just bumped heads. But yeah. So here I finally top decked the Duke Frog, and I'm like, okay, finally I can get my plays off. I know for a fact he's gonna attack. And that's what he ends up doing. But he ends up setting a Goblin Bird. Now that I realize it, that's a really weird move. I guess he just doesn't want to take the risk. Honestly, I would have just kept it at hand and like go for plays. So finally, I get a really decent hand. So I go and special summon the swap, and I'm going for a Sea Lancer play here. And as you can see, his back rows are Dimensional Prism and a Bottomless Trap Hole. So I end up just trying to bait it out, even though I could go for Sea Lancer if I wanted to, but that's why I wanted to bait it out. Dark Mist is like the all-star of this. Oh, well, Sea Lancer and Dark Mist are like the all-star of this, and you're going to be seeing why. So main phase 2, I just go, since I got banished. Again, I was baiting everything out, and I equipped like 4. So then I MST my Poison Draw Frog so I could get a draw, and I could special summon so I could go into a Gachi. Just so I could go and get pluses. Hopefully I could top deck. I was trying my best to top deck a Caius, guys. Like, you guys have no idea. And he ends up top decking a freaking switch hitter. And he goes into another lead yoke, and I'm like, oh, frick. I know where this is going. So, yeah, the Gachi loses all its materials, and I'm like, ah, QQ, whatever. So I draw into another MST. I end up, and what I'm doing here, like, most people are gonna be like, oh my god, you're so stupid, yada yada yada. But guys, pay attention. Is what I'm doing is I'm deck thinning the deck. Don't you see? I'm going like major swap frog, like spam and stuff like that. I'm trying my best to deck thin so I could draw into my key pieces, which is basically a Caius, because that's all I need. So here I go into another Dark Mist, my second and last Dark Mist, and I'm like, okay, I got him. You know, I'm pretty sure he could barely do anything except you know, he attacks over the Sea Lancer. I get my swap frog. You know, it's still you know, all that type of stuff. But yeah, he goes into, I forgot that he had the Joe, and he sends the Joe to the grave. He gets a Spar, and yeah, he makes a stupid move here and goes Spar main phase. I'm sorry, main phase 1. I'm like, you could have attacked and then gone Spar, but I guess he didn't want to. But he does a smart move here, and he resets my my Dark Mist by setting it. So I end up, you know, using the effect, getting damage, and this becomes 1900. So I'm just, you know, trying my best to like hold on to dear life, because honestly the duel is back and forth. Like right now he has all the advantage, but I have all my frogs in the grave and in the banished stone. I'm trying my best to like let my Sea Lancer live. I'm trying my best to top deck a Caius, but I just can't. So here I end up, I believe this is a smart, I'm sorry, a stupid move here. I shouldn't have done that. Actually, yeah, I should have, because I really wanted to get that lead yoke out of the way. And here I just give it back to him. I basically didn't lose anything. I got another frog in the banished zone. And here he sets a MST and a counter punch, so he's running 3 counter punch, which I don't think is very good. Finally, I top deck the Caius. I'm like, yes, GG. And I make a stupid move by attributing the Sea Lancer because I didn't have any other frogs in the grave. But I target Caius himself so he can banish, but then he chains bottomless trap hole. So unfortunately they don't get, you know. But I do have 2 battle faders, so I could survive for 2 turns if I really wanted to. But he's like, okay, I'm gonna go ham shit, I'm gonna go for the OTK. And I'm like, no bitch. I'm only running 2 battle faders. I don't believe 3 is very needed, especially this format, because not many decks OTK. But again, here I'm just gonna go for like a slacker, and I'm gonna go for spam. Like I said, Gachi and Dark Mist and Sea Lancer were like the main bosses of the deck. So Faithful Lights to go and get my Sea Lancer back, and I'm just gonna sit this one out. Just like, you know, I have 7, I believe. Actually, I have 5 frogs, so Sea Lancer is gonna stay on board for quite some time, and the slacker is gonna go to the grave. Again, I'm hoping for a Caius. I'm trying my best to deck in as much as possible. But yeah, as you guys can see, it's turn 23. It's a very long duel. Like, it took me, what, like 40 minutes. But it was a very interesting duel as well. It actually pushed Sea Lancer to the limits, I believe. So I go and I equip 5 frogs, yes. And I go into another Gachi trying to reuse all my frogs. And this is the whole point of Sea Lancer, to gain advantage. As you guys can see here, I'm 18 cards in. But he compulses, and I'm like, QQ. And all the frogs don't miss timing, which is something I love. So I go for the Duke Frog Search, because you always want to search because you want to deck them, but I really don't have any frogs in the deck. So, yeah. And here I'm just sitting on a Gachi, trying my best, and he top decks into a Goblin Bird. So Gachi survives the turn. Yeah. And drawn to a Maxi, unfortunately. But like I said, I'm going to go into another Gachi, and I believe another Gachi, right? Or do I go for a no, Gachi, yeah. And I MST this just to be safe, because I don't want to run into like a deep prison. And I equip all the freaking frogs in the world to Sea Lancer. And I attack into this one, so just so I can gain the extra 500 damage, not really for this one. And that's really going to help me. Like I said, this is a long duel. And I actually thought I was going to lose this duel, because I believe I minus myself in the other ones, I believe. But here I basically got him. He really needs like an extra space. And I'm like, okay. So I draw the Jinzo, and I'm like, okay, he was running a lot of traps, so I'm like, I must just get the Jinzo, and I just attack with the Jinzo, make Jinzo 28. Yeah, but I didn't realize that I gave him plays. I mean, I didn't think that he had that many monsters, but he goes into the Goblinberg. I Veiler in attack position, just so I could attack over it next turn and I win the game. So I put GG at this point, but it turns out he has the Spar. I ditched the Maxi just because Maxi was useless in my hand, and he uses the effect even though he can't really use it. And I finally top decked the Caius, and I'm like, yes. And I banished Caius himself to burn him for 1,000. Really, really good duel. Really shows what Sea Lancer could do. For the next one, like I said, I'm only going to be showing 4 duels in this one. We're going to go for a big contender, Blackwings. I don't know if I win this duel or lose this duel. I think I lose this duel. But my opponent is running a 45 Blackwing card deck. But he opens up very decent. He's playing Chaos Blackwings. Now that I see the BLS, he's, you know, pretty good. Of course, normal summon the Shura, set the Icarus attack. They always have the Icarus attack. So here I'm like, man, I didn't want to like leave myself open because I knew he had an Icarus attack. So like I'm already expecting once I face Blackwings first set, Icarus attack. But he goes and he warnings the Caius, which is really not bad because I could always get Caius back with Faithful Light or M7. This is the build that I'm going to be running in real life. But yeah, he's going to be attacking with the Shura, and I'm going to go for the Fader. And he has a Mirror Force set and an Icarus attack. He has a really good field. So here I just end up going for the Slacker. I believe he should have Icarus attack. Oh, not really. No. That would have been stupid. But he top decks the Kalute. And now I'm just kind of like stalling. I'm trying to get hand advantage and stuff, even though he is getting hand advantage as well. You know, I'm dumping all my frogs in the grave. So I have a Rodent Totem and a Poison Draw Frog. I don't special summon out the Rodent Totem because I thought that he had Kalute in his hand. I figured he had Kalute because they always have Kalute. And I don't want him beating over Rodent Totem to get the special summon. So I go and I dump the second Rodent Totem again. I'm going to go Light and Darkness Dragon just because I'm going to waste a lot of resources that he has. And I top deck the Veiler. So it's not that bad. So here's when I decide to go off. I'm like, I'm a tribute for the lad. He Veilers, I have to negate. I maybe could have waited another turn if I really wanted to, but I was like, no, because then I would have had to discard. So I negate the Mirror Force, and I'm like, oh fuck, I know where this is going. And he Kalutes, I have to negate the Kalute. And so he gets, he beats over the lad in darkness. So he gets the Sure effect, he special summons, I believe, oh, I thought he was going to go for a value. But he special summons the Gale, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to let this go through. I Dark Hole, so he minuses himself. And he has a Dark Illusion set, which is a pretty interesting tech, not gonna lie. And the Icarus attack. And I don't know why he didn't set the Starlight Road here. I don't know why. But anyways, I go and I special summon the Treeborn Frog. Normal summon the Swap Frog to try and get some deck thinning action on the board. I've already down, you know, quite a lot of cards in my deck. And I just go for the Gachi, I believe. No, I don't. Okay. I don't know why I keep on thinking. Every time I go Rodent Totem, I'm like Gachi. So yeah. And they always draw that lone Compulse. I'm actually debating on mating at least one Compulse because it's that good. So yeah, here I go. I banished the Treeborn Frog, as you guys can see, just so, because remember, you could keep on reusing Treeborn Frog. It goes to the grave. So yeah, he compulses a Sea Lancer. I'm like, okay, QQ. I draw 2 cards, and here he makes me like set a shit ton of cards, which I really dislike doing because I didn't want to discard absolutely anything. So I, you know, set the creature swap, enemy controller, and the second enemy controller. I know, not the best move, not really the move that you want to do in Frog Monarchs, but has to be done. So I tribute the Caius, for the Caius, to target his set, and it was a Raikou. And I go for the Gachi again, and he has a, and I'm going for the OTK, and I end up OTKing him. I actually was expecting like a Mirror Force or something like that, but I end up OTKing him, so that was a pretty good duel here. No, that was a pretty good duel, because if I went with Jinzo, Raikou would have destroyed the Jinzo. So, the next ones are going to be Crystal Beasts. Just another, that's a pretty fun deck, don't really think, I mean, they've had New Light, but I guess we're running, like, we're seeing an anti-meta version of it with Thunder King Ryo. So I opened up very decent, I mean, I swap frog play for days, basically. I'm going to go and I believe, did I hit the Rodent Totem? Or whatever. So, he opens up pretty okay with the Pot of Duality and a Thunder King Ryo. Yeah, and he's gonna get the Topaz Tiger and just attack with the Thunder King. I was like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing. I mean, as soon as I saw that I was facing Crystal Beast, I was like, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win this. So I'm like, okay, tribute. I'm gonna, you know, do this creature swap. Gonna try and get maximum damage here. And I'm just banishing stuff for the Gachi. And, yeah, I basically got it. And he ends up giving up turn 3. So, I believe after his top deck is when he gives up. Let's see, right? Yeah, he ends up giving up. And for the last duel, we're facing Dark Worlds. The Dark World player isn't the best Dark World player, but he does end up beating me. I mean, if you can make a deck work and win, then you can make the deck work and win. So he opens up double gates and a brow and a snow. Yeah. Not gonna say much about that. You know, it's a pretty bad hand because he doesn't have any fiends in his grave. So I open up with a handful of frogs and I'm like, okay, first turn Sea Lancer. Yes. I mean, I'm freaking going ham shit here because the only boss monster I have is Sea Lancer. And Sea Lancer first turn is really not bad, like at all. It's really good. Oh no. I could have gone first turn Sea Lancer. Like I said, sometimes I wish I had the third Rodent Totem, but it's really not needed, like at all. So he sets the brow. He's trying to get that fiend in the grave for the Treeborn. I'm sorry, for the Treeborn, for the gates. So I'm here. Like I said, I'm special summoning as much as I can, trying to deck thin. That's in the end what you want to do with Sea Lancer. You want to deck thin as much as possible. So I was testing the waters, and now I see that he's playing now I see that he's playing Dark Worlds, and I'm like, okay, I'm gotta try to keep my hand empty, because I don't want him touching anything out of my hand. So here's when he goes all out. He goes for the Goldo, which is like, I mean, I did not expect Goldo, to be honest. Most people now play Silva, because it has a better effect than Goldo, in my opinion. Well, in everyone's opinion. So I get both my effects off. Dark Worlds is a pretty hard game 1 for this deck, though it's not the first time that, you know. But usually game 2 and 3, I usually set in End of Anubis, which kills the deck, and Mermails. And he goes for plays here. He goes to special summon Laval Chain, which is I'm assuming, yeah, he ditches the Grapha, bounces the Goldo. I'm assuming he wants to reuse Goldo's effect, but he ends up banishing it. And yeah, I take damage here. Damn. But anyways, I still have my 2 Rolling Totems attached to the Gachi, so I can't really go for a Sea Lancer play. And here I'm gonna go for the Grapha, and he ends up deck deving, and I'm like, oh shit. Oh man. Light and Darkness Dragon, where are you? Because I really need Light and Darkness Dragon so I can keep on reusing my monsters. So he ends up going for the Gateway, and he activates the, what is this called? Cereally? Guru of Dark World. Yeah. So yeah, deck Devi. Deck Devi is pretty devastating to a frog deck. Well, not really. Sort of, depending when you hit it, really. But unfortunately, I didn't have the best opening hand. So he ends up, like I said, he ends up going ham shit and all that type of stuff. So I'm assuming this video is gonna be pretty long. So you know, I'm trying my best to show what Sea Lancers could do. And this is the only duel I believe I lose in this, you know, section. But here I top deck into a Caius, and I'm like, I gotta make plays, even though I know what's gonna happen. Sack for Caius. I banish the 4500 one. He discards. Don't know why he didn't discard the Brow. I don't know if they missed timing because of that. They probably do. Probably just being stupid here. And I'm just going for the Gachi, and I just end up attacking. End up attacking over it. So yeah, good plays, good plays. Like I said, hopefully I don't draw into a Sea Lancer. I think I do end up drawing into a Sea Lancer. What I really want is a Light and Darkness Dragon. Light and Darkness Dragon. Like I said, main boss monster of the deck. I end up, oh yeah, Junk Synchron. Now this was a test variant. This was like the very first test. I was testing out Junk Synchrons and Frogs just as a tech, because Junk Synchron is my favorite tuner. So I could get like the Dew Frogs in the grave, the Poison Draw Frogs in the grave, going for Archimedes, Catastor, and just add a lot more versatility to the deck. But like I said, this was like before. Now I have an updated build. This was an old build. And I mean, Junk Synchron was fine. Don't get me wrong, it was fine. It was working fine actually, but I don't know. I guess I don't like how it wasn't. I didn't have synergy with the deck, but I took it out for a Mobius, and Mobius is doing amazing. Even though I never freaking draw it, I never draw Mobius. Yeah, Mobius is a pretty good card though. But he ends up here, and I'm like, okay, there's absolutely no way I could win. There's no way I could win, and that's what I end up doing. I end up scooping. So, anyways, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this duel, and I mean, I'm gonna leave the rest to you, for you guys. And this has been Oblivion. Catch you guys later. Deuces.